memorize this quote. Remember, the key is not to be surface. You want to dive a little deeper into your thinking. All right? As always, we're going to read the quote at least twice before we get started. All right, here we go. Here's your quote. It says, "Your best teacher is your last mistake." Once again, your best teacher is your last mistake. I want you guys to think about that for a moment, and then we're going to share it out at your team. Your writer is going to write down your team's response, and your spokesperson on your team will share it out. I will give you 2 minutes to discuss it at your table, write out your response, and then your spokesperson will share it out. Any questions? All right, get busy. You got 2 minutes. Table 1, spokesperson. Let's see what you got.
So, when it says your best teacher, it's like your favorite teacher, they don't put as much pressure or work on you as the other teachers do, and it's kind of like that's why you like them.
So your best teacher is the one that doesn't push you that much, right? Is that what you think the quote is saying?
Kind of.
Okay, I like that. We'll talk. All right, table 2. Enlighten us, please.
My group said that if you have a good teacher, it will limit your mistakes.
Ooh, I like that. If you have a good teacher, it will limit. What is the connection, though? What is that connection with a good teacher limiting your mistakes?
Like if she's like good at teaching and like knows when to be strict.
She ain't no she in here.
Or
Me, he. Okay, I got you. What's up?
If he or she
Okay.
is like not strict, but like when he or she knows, knows when to be strict, then like you won't have like as many mistakes and you'll like learn more.
You buy into it. Okay. Once you learn that, hey, you know what? I don't like how it feels when I get those poor grades in class. What do I need to do so that I will not get those poor grades again? You just learn something. If I need to make sure I study more, if I need to put the phone down, if I need to be a little bit more focused, if I need a study buddy, that's what I need to do. You're learning from those mistakes. Last period I used the analogy, a story of me and my cousin. His name was Lucius. We call him Maine because he was so cool. He was 13, I was 11. He had this amazing bike. So he would have the bike and I didn't have one, but I wanted to hang out with my cousin, so I used to ride on his handlebars. You know, you sit on the handlebars and he would just have you like that and you just ride out. So one night my cousin said, "Hey, I want to go to the store and get some bananas." I'm like, "Dude, wherever you want to go, I want to go." All right, so I want to be with him. So he's running at the house, he jumps on the bike, so of course I'm right behind him because I'm 11 and he's 13. So I run out there and I jump, but I didn't bring my shoes. So the store is like maybe a mile, so my cousin gets on the bike and I jump on there and he's just running. But to be on the handlebars, I have to put my feet somewhere. So I put them next to the spokes, right? You know the little bar that's out, that sticks out? I put my feet there. And my cousin was riding the bike so hard, and then he hit a bump, and then I jumped up and my feet went right into the spokes. And then my feet, the bottom tip of it, came off.
Oh my God.
So, well, yes, the skin will rejuvenate. Over time it did, but I was laid up in my bed because we couldn't afford a hospital at that point, going to the doctor. I stayed at home for roughly 2 weeks until my feet were able to heal. Now, did I learn a lesson at that point about riding bikes?
Yeah.
Wear shoes.
Wear shoes when you wear. Does anybody ever have to teach me that story again or that lesson again? No, I don't have to learn that lesson again because I learned it. My last mistake. That was it.
So basically, your cousin was your your best teacher?
Well, no, I was my best teacher because I learned that you should always wear shoes when you ride a bike. If you don't do well on your test, you should do what? Study hard. So let's take a moment because that's what we're heading to. We're looking at your test results. You were right on point, Tiffany, because that's where we're going. You actually read my mind. So here we go. 80% distinguished or proficient. That is what our goal was. Because that is how we pass the milestones. And that is the goal. We want 100%. We're starting at 80 and we're working our way up. T2 minus T2. What does that mean? Oh, I like this. Love this. Yes. Sasha, what is it?
I mean, thinking time, not talking.
Thinking time, not
talking time.
All right, thinking time, not talking time, so I need you to think. I will show you two pictures. I want you to analyze those two pictures and make the connection between those two pictures. Remember, I don't want you to be surface because that's a waste of time. What do you see? What do you think? I want you to dive deeper to explain the connections between two of them, these two pictures, and how does it apply to the classroom. We ready? I like table 1, you guys brought it back because you heard the bell. Table 2, I heard a little shh because you heard the bell. I like that we're back together. Awesome job. This was can't be surface to explain this, can you?
No,
You can't. Cindy, explain it.
So we said that it could take something basic to turn into something.
Georgia. I want you to think about what happened when those first Europeans came. How did they address the Mississippians? How did they interact with the Mississippians? And now I want you to think about what will happen now that the British are coming. Okay, and then what? What's going to happen?
And then the Spanish are going to be mad because, you know, it's like a scramble for Georgia.
Ooh, because those natural resources, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then they're not going to give the Mississippians a chance because it was actually their land first, but, you know, they stole it from them. So, yeah, they're still going to be sad.
I like where you're going with that. Anthony, what you got for us? So now we need to figure out why it happened. That is so fascinating about history because we don't know why. They say we're doomed to repeat it. History repeats itself over and over again. So we need to figure out why. So let's dive into it. The charter, here we go. Charter is an important legal document that gives permission. Ooh, this is where our note starts. A charter, an important legal document. You need to move closer to the board. Please move closer to the board. That is what we do. What were some of the rights of the settlers? What are some of the requirements they had to do as well? All of that came along with the Charter of 1732. So be mindful. Once again, June 20th, 1732, Georgia became a colony. Tomorrow, during your pride time, we're going to look at the manifest for that ship. Because there was a ship that came and brought the first settlers to Georgia. And you will be surprised to know, because you'll know some of those names. The first people that left England and made it to Georgia. You'll look at the occupations that they had to have. Well, I think she was already here, but we'll talk about that. All right, here we go. So it says, wait a minute. Ooh, time to think. How did they come up with the name Georgia? Where did they get Georgia from? For our state. Oh, I like this. I love this. I love this. Melina, what do you got? What you got?
King George.
King George the what?
Second.
King George the Second. They named it after him. King George the Second. So, question. If you got to name a colony in the New World, what would you name it? And then why? Take a moment, fill it in, please. All right, reasons for the royal colony. And now we'll put your brain to the test, so let's see who can do this. There are 3 very specific reasons. Well, let's talk about it. For the charter. They listed 3 reasons for starting the colony of Georgia. Very important 3 reasons. All right, here we go. We got the first one is charity. However, I don't want you to write down charity as one of the causes. I want you to go to your content map. And I want you to identify the word that stands for charity off of your content map. Raise your hand once you know it. Of those 3 reasons, which one do you feel is the most important and why? Take a moment and write it down, please. Philanthropy, we said charity, economics, or defense. Which one do you feel is the most important? I'll give you 10 seconds. 9, 8,